You're going to have to talk so I can hear you clearly.
Gosh.
Okay. I am doing this with my grandma, and so this
I'm demonstrating how to.
I'm demonstrating how to interview somebody. What do you do for work?
Since January of 2015, I've had the privilege of serving as a Colorado State Senator for Senate District 19.
What are the 3 of your most important responsibilities?
The most important responsibility I have is listening to my neighbors, my constituents, so that I know how they want me to vote on things. It's also really important that I run good bills. Bills that I run become laws in our state, so it's really important that they are good bills so they become good laws. And I think the third most important thing I do is vote right on every bill that comes to my committees or to the Senate floor.
What was the process like to get elected?
Getting elected in November of 2014 was a lot of hard work and a lot of fun. We did a lot of fundraising. We did a lot of mail. We knocked on a lot of doors, met a lot of people, and asked them for their votes. That was my favorite part of getting elected in November, but it was a lot of work.
How did your experience in 4-H help you get to where you are today?
Everything I learned in 4-H has helped me in my role today. I was in 4-H in Routt County, Colorado when I was your age. So I did record books, which taught me how to pay attention to detail, and that's really helpful at the Capitol. I did demonstrations when I was in 4-H, which began to hone my public speaking skills. I served on the leadership team, like your leaders do here. That helped me to learn how to lead. And I had great leaders who taught me how to sew and show steers and do the things we did. And so it taught me how to listen to others, how to take direction, how to think critically about things.
How are 4-H meetings and Senate meetings similar and different?
Well, the thing that strikes me as being the most similar is they're both a lot of fun. It's really fun to be back in a 4-H meeting again. We use the same parliamentary procedure that you use in 4-H in the Senate. So we make motions and we vote on things and we take minutes and they're approved by the body as well. The one difference that I could see is your meetings are run by children and my meetings are run by adults who only act like children sometimes.
How has 4-H changed since you were in it?
It's interesting. It's been a long time since I've been in a 4-H meeting. The one difference I can see is when I was your age, I wasn't yet involved in doing demonstrations, but your leaders have you doing demonstrations, teaching you public speaking, teaching you how to lead at a very early age, which is a wonderful thing. I think it hasn't changed all that much down through the time. It's still all about the kids, all about teaching them responsibility and integrity and character, and that's what 4-H is good for still today.
Okay. What was your favorite part of 4-H when you were in it?
My favorite part of 4-H was the county fair, the state fair, and 4-H Congress in Chicago, and my trip to Washington, D.C. I did all the record books and all the projects because I had to, but I really loved going to the fairs, hanging out with my friends. I won a trip to 4-H Congress with a demonstration I did, and I loved traveling around the country with kids from Colorado.
Is it okay if my club members ask you questions?
Sure.
Does anybody have any questions?
You want to call him?
Are you going to run for a second term?
I am. I'm running in November of this year, as a matter of fact. So I'm campaigning again, knocking on doors, fundraising, and meeting people. Yeah. Yes.
What different projects did you do when you were in 4-H?
I did a lot of sewing, everything from the early years to when I sewed on leather later on. And we showed horses and we showed steers, and I did photography and some leather work as well.
Tell them about the time your 4-H steers got in the house.
What? My parents live still on a property where the front door faced west, and our 4-H steers, just about the time of fair when they all weighed about 1,300 pounds, got out of the corral. And it was a hot day, and the front porch of my parents' house was concrete, and so it stayed cooler. And so they just found their way to the concrete front porch area and then leaned on the door and it opened, I guess. We weren't home. And we came home to find evidence that they had been in the house around on the carpet. They didn't fall down the basement stairs. They were back out before we got home. And we just took the carpet out of the house and hung it over the barn and hosed it off and let it dry. And it's still in the house today. It's a long time ago.
Nice.
You can ask me anything.
How many cows got in your house?
We don't know how many were in. But there was a lot of manure.
That sounds like my, so you have experience with steers. Did you ever go to National Western?
Yes, I've been going to the National Western Stock Show to observe. I've never competed there.
So do you know the giant brick wall going down the hill?
Yes.
I had a steer who managed to jump up there.
Wow. Interesting.
That was a fun time getting him down.
This year, I was a senator that was privileged to go to the National Western to the junior livestock sale, and we bid on a steer. We bought a boy's steer from eastern Colorado, and I got to do the bidding that night. The legislature always raises money to buy one animal, and we typically like to buy a steer because we like to spend about $10,000. So we spent just under $10,000 on that steer this year.
Not tax money.
Not tax money, out of our own pockets.
Thank you, Nana, for coming to our meeting today.
Thank you for having me. You did a great job.